Hello there, and welcome back to the Start and Succeed Show with me, Kelly Brammer. Now, if you've not listened to an episode of this podcast before, I'm here every single week sharing hints, tips, strategies, and insights with you to help you step into your power with purpose and with intent. And that's so that you can go on to build a life, a business, a career that you're passionate about and that enables you to thrive and those around you to do the same. Now, in this podcast episode today, I want to talk to you about something that I use every single day, not just in my personal life, but in my coaching work as well. And this is where I'm talking to you about the power of mini goals and how they can help you build momentum, break through resistance, and create the kind of habits that truly can transform your life. Now, if you've ever set a big goal, maybe something like starting a business or losing quite a lot of weight or finally writing that book idea that you've had in your head for so long, you've probably already experienced the wave of overwhelm that comes with it. You're essentially standing at the base of this huge mountain, looking up and just thinking, where the hell do I even begin? There's so much to do. And I get it because, as I say, I've been there and many others have too. You may have even been in the same boat. So here's the thing. Big goals are important. They are. They give you that guiding vision. They give you a direction and something to work towards. But what actually gets you moving forward and gaining that momentum is the small stuff. It's the daily habits. It's the little wins. That's where mini goals come in. Mini goals are essentially bite-sized versions of a bigger goal. So something that's small that you can take and deliver that feels, in some cases, too easy. But that's the point. Because it's easier, it feels easier for you to actually do something, to start making progress. And the more likely you are to actually commit to doing it and actually go on and do it when you've committed to doing it. So here's an example. Let's say your big goal is to start exercising regularly. Now, a mini goal might be to put on your workout clothes and do just 5 minutes of stretching. That's it. You don't have to commit to a full workout. You just have to get started. Put those clothes on, start those stretches, build those habits, those good habits. The next day, do the same. The next day, do the same. The next day, maybe extend it a little bit, maybe go to 10 minutes. And you'll start to gain momentum. You'll start to move the needle forward. But here's what usually happens. Once you've started on small goals, you keep going. That's where the magic lies in it. They remove the resistance because they're, in some cases, too easy. They feel like they're too easy for us, and our brain is there trying to stop us from feeling like we're insecure, like it's unsafe. But if we can set these mini goals that are essentially, in some ways, really bloody easy to do, and you're just going to go ahead and do them, and you're going to see the progress, you're going to see the successes, you're going to see the wins, that's telling your brain that this is okay. This is good. I'm moving forward. I'm developing. But why does momentum matter? Well, momentum is what makes something sustainable. And in this case, we're talking about your success. It's the difference between thinking about doing something and actually doing it. So when you're in motion, when you're doing this, you're feeling good, you're feeling capable, you trust yourself. And that's a powerful, powerful mindset to be in. But here's what's fascinating. Your brain, as I've just mentioned, loves completion. It loves to keep you safe. So every time that you complete something, even if it's something tiny, your brain releases dopamine. And that's that feel good stuff in your brain. The dopamine hit reinforces the behavior, which makes you want to do it again. It's essentially getting you moving. It's getting you going in your brain, telling you that this is okay. And that's how habits are born, how habits are created. And you want to make sure they're good habits, because also there's bad habits that we can pick up. But this is all about small goals that are going to take you forward. So maybe if you've been struggling with consistency or with discipline, mini goals could be your best friend because they don't rely on willpower. They don't rely on you achieving this big, massive thing that's going to take you all this time to do. They rely on doing small things, getting essentially shit done, and they rely on momentum. So let me give you a quick story from my own life when it comes to mini goals. Now, there was a time when I was completely stuck writing this coaching resource for a client, and I just kept putting it off. It was too overwhelming. I felt like I'd got all these ideas, but I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know what would work in a particular scenario. And I wanted to give as much as I could, but on the other hand, I didn't want to give too much that it caused overwhelm. And as a result of that, it felt huge and overwhelming to me. So I gave myself just one mini goal, and that was to open the document and to write one paragraph a day. That was it. Some days I only did the paragraph because, again, I was still in that overwhelm phase where I got all of these ideas, all of these things going off in my brain. But on the other days when that wasn't happening, I ended up writing pages, and within 2 weeks, the entire resource was complete. I'd actually moved forward where I'd been putting it off and putting it off, putting it off. It wasn't helping me, and it wasn't helping my client. Now, that would have essentially never happened if I'd have stayed focused on the bigger picture. But I had to zoom in. I had to get out of my own way, get out of my own head, and just take a tiny step forward. And by doing that, I gradually started to build momentum. And as I say, within 2 weeks, that entire resource was completed. So if I can do this, and I can be in that frame of mind of procrastination, overwhelm, doubt, even a fear of under-delivering for my client, I promise you, you can do the same. If you can start to segment those big goals into smaller, more actionable tasks, you can start to build good habits and momentum. So I want to wrap this episode up with just a couple of powerful takeaways that you can use right now to do this. So the first one is to design your first 5 minutes. So let's think about a goal that you have had sitting on your to-do list for just way too long. And now ask yourself, what's the first 5 minutes of getting this done? Now that becomes your first new mini goal. That becomes an action step for you to take, just the first 5 minutes. Because if you can take that first step, the steps after that will start to appear. So maybe you want to start journaling. Well, just write one sentence. Don't worry about having to write everything on a journal page. Just one sentence will do. It will get you started. Maybe you want to go for a walk. You're wondering how you fit it into your day. You're too busy. Just put on your shoes. Walk out the door. You may only get to the stairs if you've got stairs to go down. You may only get to the front gate, but you've got your shoes on and you've got out. You're more likely to want to go that bit further. Maybe you want to grow your business. Send one message to a potential client. Design that first 5 minutes. That first 5 minutes, that first step is going to help you to build that momentum. So if you do that consistently, you're going to start seeing some progress, seeing some wins, seeing some successes. And as a result, you're going to be getting those goals done one step at a time. Now, takeaway 2 is to track and measure your tiny wins. Now, you might think, I don't want to track anything. Like, I just want to get shit done. And that's good. But if you don't track what you're doing, you don't understand what you've done, what's that process that you've gone through, and what's potentially got in your way that if it happens again, you can look back and go, well, what did you do about it? How did you get around that obstacle? How did you decide to just keep moving forward even though it was there? So tracking is really, really important. So maybe you start with a mini win tracker. You can write it in a notebook, maybe a notes app on your phone, or you can make it more visual if you're a visual person and have check marks or stickers. So every time you complete a mini goal, write it down, log it somewhere so you can see that you're building on your successes and you're making essentially the needle move forward. And this is all building proof that you follow through with what you say you are going to do. And that's what's going to help build confidence and self-belief and self-trust for you. So here's a challenge for today. I want you to pick one mini goal in an area that matters so much to you and just complete it before the day ends. Just one mini goal. And then tomorrow, I want you to do the same. Go through the same process. Pick one mini goal in an area that really is important to you and just get it done before the end of the day. And then do it the next day. And just keep building that momentum day after day after day. Momentum doesn't come from doing everything. And that's sometimes where we get stuck in our own heads, because we've got these big to-do lists. We've got piles of notes that we need to get through, or we believe we need to get through. But momentum doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing something. And you are more than capable of just starting small and then going on to build something really big as you start to build momentum and gain that confidence in yourself. So that's all for today's episode. Thank you again for listening. As I say, I'm here every single week sharing these tips, these strategies, and these insights with you. And if this particular episode gave you a little spark of motivation, I'd really love it if you could share this with a friend or a colleague, or maybe even leave me a quick review. It really would mean the world, because I really get some insight from you then into what you're finding useful with these, what you might want to see in future episodes, and helps me reach more people, which is what I'm here to do. So until next time, take that tiny step. That's where the success really does begin. Have a great day.